Well, it's the final night of the Attack of the Queen Bees month, the most beautiful and talented women working in bee movies today. And our final guest is, this gal is so steamy, you can't walk barefoot on the floor around here. She heats things up so quick. She's been in 55 movies, and in a very short period of time. She's the 1993 Penthouse Pet of the Year. I first saw her in the movie that we're going to watch first up tonight, Fit to Kill. It's an Andy Sedaris extravaganza in which she plays the nasty girlfriend of a diamond thief. And in fact, it was Andy Sedaris, the legendary director of Bazookas and Bazumas classics like Hard Hunted and Malibu Express and Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It was Andy who first told me about tonight's guest. He said she is the sexiest woman we've ever had on the set. And Andy has worked with hundreds of gorgeous centerfolds. Anyhow, she is a legend at a very young age, and she's here with us tonight. Please welcome Julie Strain. Hi, how in the world do you make 55 movies in what, 4 or 5 years at most?
4 years. I just hit the ground running every day. I didn't take time to breathe, eat, smoke, do anything. I just kept work, sleep, work, and now I can coast a little bit.
Yeah, and also in that time you are the Penthouse Pet of the Year.
Yes.
And that's, tell me about that, because that's a deal where people actually vote on it, right?
Right. There was a lot of voting and a lot of viewer input. Actually, my friend Melissa Moore wrote in letters for me, too. Isn't
really?
that sweet of her?
And you got the most votes of how many people were?
There was 5 girls out of the 12 for the year that were actually in the playoff.
Great, great. So, and then if you win, what do you have to do for the year of your reign? Is it like Miss America, you go to White House receptions, or what are your duties as the Penthouse Pet of the Year?
Just like the Miss America, White House receptions and all that good stuff, and running around the country, starting new issues in Greece and Turkey and Russia, and it was fabulous. Great company to work for. Made a lot of friends, signed a lot of autographs all over the world.
But now your reign is over and you had to pass the scepter on to
Yes.
somebody else?
I passed the scepter on to a nice Russian girl, but I'm Pet of the Year for life, and I always represent the company.
Is that an official title, Pet of the Year for life?
Well, I've given it to myself.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now, you obviously have no problem getting naked for the camera. You've done, I've seen a lot of your movies now. Is there anything that can embarrass you in a movie?
I don't think so. I'm pretty much beyond embarrassment. So you could try your best, but...
Well, I'm not going to try to embarrass you. I'm just asking if there's anything that's ever gone too far.
No, not really at all. I love everything I do, and whether I'm nude or not nude, it's just fun, and it's work, and everybody's professional, and it's an environment that's treated as such. And I've never had, you know, a gawker or anything, because I'll walk up to them, talk to them for an hour first, naked, so that it just gets all that stuff out of the way.
So they kind of forget what they were going to ask to begin with, right? So how'd you get started doing this? I know you're from San Francisco. Did you just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be sexy for a living?
Well, I discovered Penthouse and Playboy magazines underneath my mother's bed and read them from a small girl on, so that was the beginning of my sexuality, and I just always thought to myself, I want to be one of those beautiful women and be
Wait a minute, it was your mother that read Penthouse?
Yes, my mother. She said she just read them, you know, for the articles.
But she was a little embarrassed enough to keep them under her bed, huh?
Yep. She had a few things under there I found, but...
And that made you want to be one of them, huh?
Yes, it did. And I was a housewife for many years and not really allowed to get out in the world and give creatively and artistically, which I'm kind of consider myself a piece of art. And it's only art if it's well hung, but anyways.
We consider you a piece of art, Julie. You don't have to convince us.
I know. So at the ripe age of 28, I got it down to LA and started with Playboy, then moved on to Penthouse and did the whole Penthouse thing, and started on films such as Repossessed and The Doors and Bugsy, and just worked my way on up to starring in my own movies now. Well,
now let me ask you this too, because you're very tall. You can't tell so much here because we're sitting down, but does that you're how tall? 6'1". So does that help you, hinder you? Because you're a goddamn Amazon. I mean, I was standing next. You're taller. Sometimes you're taller than me when you have your heels and your hair and all that.
I know, Joe Bob, but I'm worth the climb.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love it.
But to answer your question, no, it hasn't been a hindrance at all, because all my characters are so up, above, and beyond over the top that I do not carry a purse. I usually do not have a husband or a love interest unless I'm Black Widow and I'm killing him afterwards. And in the sex scenes, it really doesn't matter how tall someone is, because you're all like bungled up or sitting or back or down or up, something crazy. So it's never created a problem. But I was up for Batman 3 alongside Jim Carrey as one of the sidekicks for his character, and I think that I didn't get that because I was too tall. But that's just, you know, a large actor that's not real tall wanting to look taller and not hiring a big girl.
Oh, well, okay. You burned some bridges there, Julie.
Yes, I
All right, well, I want to ask you about various parts of your career when we come back, but first I want you to talk about the first movie that we're going to watch, Fit to Kill. Now, you play the girlfriend of R.J. Moore, and R.J. is the son of Roger Moore, the James Bond from the 60s and 70s, and you even do a little spoof on his dad in the film, right? So, did you get along with R.J.? Do you like R.J.?
He was wonderful. He was really bright and intelligent, and when you get that accent going, and you get somebody that's authoritative and has this accent, it's just so lovely and you know, enthralling that it brings your own acting out better because you want to compete with him and get into that whole mode. It was just...
So that's like a big turn on?
Yeah.
Well, Julie,
he's pretty hot.
I don't really want, no, I don't want to give away the plot, but you're having sex with RJ for a reason, and so we won't tell what the reason is. But
I don't have sex with RJ.
I thought you had sex with RJ. It's been a while since I watched the film.
I have sex with Nick the Dick from Bachelor Party.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
he's the one on the boat.
Okay, so you're with, but RJ is an international diamond thief.
Exactly.
You're with this guy on RJ's yacht, and those familiar with Andy Sedaris films will know that almost every beautiful woman in these movies is actually an undercover federal agent of some sort. Yes. But what I remember most about your role, Julie, is that you do have that sex scene on the kitchen sink that climaxes with you, so to speak, with you screaming, "Anchors away." That is a very hot scene and a very funny scene at the same time.
Is. And it was pretty much ad-lib on my part for those little pieces of dialogue that got flung out there in the throes of passion.
So that was a Julie Strain improvisation.
Yes, it was.
You being Julie.
There are many of those on many films, and they let me get away with it, and it usually gets a big laugh.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the flick. 16 dead bodies, 28 breasts, bikini ninja, 1 motor vehicle chase, exploding bamboo, exploding yacht, 4 stars, rated R. Check it out. Then we'll be back with more of Julie, and not as much of Julie as you'll see in the movie, but a lot more about Julie. So roll it, okay? And when you're Penthouse Pet of the Year, do you have like 9,000 offers from men a day, or propositions, or whatever?
Pretty much.
How many of those can you say on TV?
Well, gosh, all of them actually.
You can. I can't.
Captain Burke, you naughty nautical boy. The immortal line uttered by B-movie bad girl Julie Strain, and here's Julie with us right now as our special guest on Attack of the Queen Bees Month. Great job, Julie.
Thank you very much.
You made that up, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm a spur-of-the-minute type of girl.
Do they usually want you to be evil when they cast you?
Yeah, I usually play a witch or a vampire, a killer, a double agent, assassin, monster, creature, feature, out of control.
Or just a bitch?
Well, more than a bitch.
More than a bitch, okay.
Because I kill and I spit and I kick and I headbutt and do all these
But that's a lot of
things.
Fun, right?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Well, you've made so many movies. I've got to ask you about some of these movies, because I'm just going to name the movie,
all right.
And you tell me what your memory of it is, okay? Carnal Crimes.
Martin Hewitt, great love scene in the bathroom, still plays. People like John Landis say, I saw you in that scene in the bathroom, that love scene.
So it runs on cable a lot, huh?
Yeah, it's still out there. That was one of my first movies, and it's still going. It's a pretty hot love scene.
High Heels on a Lady.
My first leading role with Jessica Hahn and Morton Downey Jr. Unbelievable, great, sweet little movie. Hasn't run the full circuit yet for everybody to see, but when they do, they're really going to love it.
So, and with Jessica Hahn, it must have been one of her first, too.
It was her first, for sure.
How tall are you in heels?
Depends on the heels.
6'8"? Can you get up there?
Yeah, I have 6-inch heels, and with my hairdo, I'm 6'8". You bet.
Psycho Cop 2. Somehow that one missed my neighborhood multiplex. I don't know how.
That is a great little movie. It's the second in a series, and there's a psycho cop chasing all these crazy stripper bachelorette party girls around, and I have chaps on with my cheeks hanging out and little tassels and a cowboy hat and all this crazy stuff.
And you're one of the stripper bachelorettes?
Yes, we are.
Bikini Squad, is that a musical or what is that?
Bikini Squad is directed by a woman, Valerie Brayman, and I remember having a big pile of fruit on top of my head, like Carmen Miranda auditioning for a role. It's a movie within a movie. And I got to play a real bimbo-y type role, and real silly, but still, once again, over the top, you know, with the fruit on the head.
Right.
Wasn't a housewife in curlers.
Now, I've seen this movie, Out for Justice.
Yes.
That must have been fun.
Out for Justice
With Steven Seagal.
Seagal, the bad boy. I can kick your ass, Steven. Anyways, hope we can say that.
You can say anything on this show.
Really? Wow. That changes things.
So, but you like that movie?
Yes, it was wonderful. It was one of my first big films for a big company, and to be part of it and still get all those wonderful residual checks is just boom.
Now, I should mention this because the guys will ask, but you have a fan club? Surely you do.
Yes, I do.
You have a fan club. So if the guys want to send the letters to the usual place here at the movie channel, we will forward them all to Julie and make sure that you get the stuff back in the mail about the fan club.
Right. I'll put them in my computer, and I do everything myself and sign everything myself, so.
Great. Now, Julie, the next picture we're going to watch is The Unnameable 2, The Statement of Randolph Carter. Now, this is a little change of pace for you. You play a creature from hell, some kind of furry, demonic animal thingy, right? It kind of works against that glamour image.
Yes, it does. 3 hours of facial prosthetics every other day for a month and a half. I had contacts, wings, hooves, stilts, back braces, 3 sets of horns, hooves under the stilts. I mean, just amazing.
But you look great in this stuff. I mean, it looks amazing, you know. But this is a very violent movie, I would say.
Yeah,
I mean, does that bug you at all?
No, I don't
You
have
don't
a
mind
problem
that at
with
all?
sex and violence.
Good, because we love violence
it.
here.
Yes.
And I love violence, and this is based on a story by that all-round violent, fun guy, H.P. Lovecraft. And what happens is they discover this 400-year-old zombie woman tied up down in a tunnel underneath the graveyard.
Right.
And she's actually 2 women in one. She's a beautiful, innocent girl, played by Maria Ford. And she's a vicious, winged she-demon, played by Julie. And so they have the Penthouse Pet of the Year play the ugly side. Don't do this too often, okay, Julie?
I promise I won't, but they needed a big girl to carry the costume. And I went like this.
So they needed somebody strong enough that could also do that.
Right. I did that better than anybody else, so I got the job.
Great, okay.
But it's been wonderful because of all the Fangoria type of stuff and things that people really get into that. When you play a creature, it creates a whole different realm of fans.
And I think people were really intrigued to see you do that, too.
Yes, they were.
Because it was so different. So those totals are 15 dead bodies, 2 breasts, gut-ripping, demon talon through the chest. I give it a good solid 3.5 stars with the great John Rhys Davies as Professor Warren. Rated R. Check it out, then we'll be back one more time with Julie. So, and Julie, when you do a sex scene or any kind of scene where you're totally nude, do they have to put makeup on like every inch of your body, like everywhere?
Actually, I have no body makeup at all whatsoever, ever, because I tan once a week and I use the self-tanning cream. So it just creates a nice little even glow everywhere, and it kind of alleviates all those problems.
Oh, okay,
So
girls, important professional tip.
I do it myself.
Well, Julie, all I can say is you make a great flesh-eating winged bitch demon, or whatever that thing was.
Thank
But I
you.
guess it's impossible to bring you back for the Unnameable 3 now. They pretty much turned you into a little pile of cinders there.
Well, if you remember, it's a chair, actually, that could be put in someone's living room and accidentally mesmerized into some living flesh again. You never know.
Oh, okay. You need to call the screenwriters right now. That's a good movie. It's hard to do H.P. Lovecraft, and that was quite a makeup job. Did that hurt having that on?
Well, after a month and a half of it, when they finally took off the last piece on the last day, I felt like I'd had a chemical peel. My skin was pretty smooth and baby-like.
Did you ever just say, oh, the hell with it and wear it to bed?
No, no. After 18 hours in it, though, I mean, I was like so isolated from everybody. I couldn't hear, I couldn't speak. They were having ribs for dinner, and I'm like going, trying to put a pea in my mouth. They're just the littlest thing to eat. It was really, really a true test of spirit.
What a trooper.
Yep, I'm a trooper.
So how many movies do you plan to make in 1995, Julie? 300?
No, I think I'm going to keep it down to about 8 to 12.
8 to 12. Oh, a mere 8 to 12 this year. Okay.
I have so many scripts sitting there to read and which ones to pick now that I can pick and choose and pick longer shooting schedules or take vacations. New word in the vocabulary. It's going to be just a little bit different.
Yeah, well, great. That's great. Listen, it's been great having you on the show. You're obviously the hottest thing going right now in B movies. Not that you don't also make A movies. You were in Beverly Hills Cop 3. You were in Naked Gun 33 1/3. But don't get famous and get on that A list and desert your roots, hon, because we will not forgive you for that.
I promise. I promise. But I just got one thing for you before we go.
Okay.
I want to show you how to do good headlock.
Oh, man. Okay. Do it again. You can come back any week you want to, hon.
Thank you,
and
hon.
almost every movie we show on Drive-In Theater has you in it right now.
Wonderful.
But for right now, so long from me, Joe Bob Briggs, reminding you that the drive-in will never die. And another thing I wonder about being Penthouse Pet of the Year, does Bob Guccione himself call you up a lot?
No, but he does shoot the Pet of the Year layout, and that is his one treat that he gets a year. And they let him out to do that, and he just has a heyday.
Great. So you don't talk to Bob a lot?
Yes, I do. I used to go to their house and go on vacation with them, and he and his wife, Kathy, and they're wonderful, wonderful people. Absolutely wonderful. But they're a little too busy to make, calls on Tuesdays. But Friday nights we sit down and have our
Okay, great.
conversation.
Thanks.